Hey traders, Alex is here. Let me just make this camera a little bit better. Welcome to Crypto Lab with Alex, featured by Trading Analysis every Thursday. So we are going to go over the macro picture and as well as the latest developments in the crypto world. Let's start. You can make your comments in the chat box and also leave some cryptos so that we can see them afterwards. So let's begin. Let's look our general macro themes and also our thesis that commodities will pause and also rates are starting to came into fruition. You know that we were exposing our thesis, looking at the charts, that we are going to see commodities pause and also rates pause, and we're going to see that on the charts now. So let's begin. Let's work out with the yields. So let's start with the 10-year yields. I'm going to unglare the picture for you. So our wave count still not confirmed. Of course, we are seeing a little bit move on the downside. We are trading around 3%, but we were looking this humongous move down over almost 40 years of deflationary period, followed by the five-way move up that we have seen from the COVID lows. So we are starting to see a small push on the downside. Recent comments about the Fed and Jerome Powell that actually they want to see a demand destruction to tame down inflation are going to move in the favor of yields, just retracing a little bit. So we will see we are going to need a confirmation here a little bit more than this one. If we switch to a smaller time frame, we are starting to see some type of a three-way move. We need a full five-way move development. So this can develop into some type of an ending diagonal as well. But I don't see rates trading much higher from here. We have a next Fed meeting in July. This might push this into some type of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I won't see rates going above 3.7 from where we might see some type of a consolidation. Of course, I don't expect anything drastic on the downside. I will look from some type of a triangulation, which will last a couple of months or something like that. In this phase, to predict something more drastic will not be so sane. So let me stay with a modest retracement in rates or some type of a triangulation before potentially in the beginning of 2023 we continue a little bit higher in rates. If we look at the European situation, we were monitoring the five-way move on the upside in the intermediary wave 3, which is moving lower now, and it is supposed to. So we are tracing this intermediary wave 4, wave 5 for the primary wave 3 and then a wave 4 and wave 5. We talked about that in the last Crypto Lab. We expect some type of a 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So there is going to be a period of the sideways movement here, because obviously this is a wave 3 on the upside, which was very vertical and very drastic move, which is usually characteristics of the wave 3 of 3 that we see here. So we do expect some type of a consolidation, another try to push on the upside, probably on the ECB meeting, next one, and then some consolidation again and a further move on the upside. So dollar index is still working out our wave 4 and wave 5. So if we go on the smaller time frame, we will see that as the rates drops, dollar index is moving a little bit more on a sideway. Is this move on the upside done? I don't think so. I think we're going to get a little bit more pullback, one more push, and that will be it for the dollar. So I think we're going to go over some type of a corrective movement. So if we count this as a five-way move on the upside, I don't think it's still over. So I will allow a little bit of a consolidation, one more push on the upside, which will finalize this five-way move. And then I think from the beginning of 2023, we might see a stronger push on the downside in dollar. Commodity Thomson Reuters index, which is 35 commodities, is starting to breaking lower. We can count 5 waves down on a smaller time frame. I had 2 targets where we are still within that range, but I think as well as I see some other commodities, I think that we're gonna get this desired drop either in some type of a complex move or in some type of triangulation. So this thesis that we are going to see the pause in commodity prices on the upside is definitely playing out. We just need a little bit more confirmation. On some commodities, we are seeing a full 5-wave swing lower, which I'm going to show you. The rest of them, due to geopolitical tensions, are getting a little bit less pullbacks, but I think that will materialize with the larger moves lower in the weeks to follow. If we look oil, oil is still moving into this triangle proposal. So we moved lower from the 127, so we are still within this range. I'm not going to give so drastic move lower in oil due to many problems in the oils market, and of course a drastic, still ongoing drastic war between Russia and Ukraine. So I'm still going to look for this range to be sustainable in the long run. So we are consolidating between 95 and 130. If we move this on the upside, it is almost 140. But let's say we are still staying in this range, which kind of suggests that after a pause, we are going to continue further on the upside in the direction of the given trend. So for now, we don't have any signs that oil market will collapse drastically on the downside. If we see a break of 95, that can change my view on the oil, but also shorter term. But we don't see that for now. Oil is trading at 111 due to this demand destruction and recessionary calls. We are seeing traders shorting oil, but I still see this in a larger time frame, still capped in this consolidation in this range. And we don't have any signs or any evidence that oil is actually breaking substantially lower. So I think we're going to stay capped in this range from 95 to 130, possibly making some longer term triangle. And then after this triangle is done, we might continue further on the upside towards this 150, 153. And I think we are still in the intermediary wave 3 development over the next couple of years, which might bring oil prices pretty higher with one pause in this 4th wave. Our net gas chart is working in a full swing now. We looked at our 1618. I think I started to draw chart on the net gas. This is the Henry Hub futures, somewhere around there. We looked for a move up close to 10. We almost reached 10, not exactly 985, but these levels are pretty close to our fib zone. We are in a full 5-wave move on the downside, and the net gas also appears to be in a seasonality move lower because it is summer. Even the gas prices skyrocketed higher. It cannot escape seasonality where the gas is less consumed, where you have 40 degrees Celsius temperature around the world. Also, people will go on vacations, and I think until September, November, we might see some type of a triangulation forming also here before the winter kicks in. So my working scenario will be some type of A wave move down, B, C, D, and E, while we consolidate through this couple of months. And I think from October, November, gas prices will start to continue further higher because the winter is coming, and of course consumption will rise for the next couple of months, which kind of depicts relatively easily this 5-wave move on the upside. So gas prices, I think, are going to consolidate for the next couple of months, and then when the seasonality kicks in, I think we're going to see prices around 14, 15. On the upside depends, are we going to see some type of a complex or a triangle consolidation here? But wave count is relatively clear. We have a 1-2 in leading diagonal in 1, and then we have a shorter 1-2, which is the intermediary wave 3, move up in a wave 3, pretty vertical. And also we have a consolidation in wave 4. You can put here a triangle, but I think it better works some type of a flattish wave 4, move up in a wave 5, reaching our fib levels and now collapsing down almost from 10 to 6.7. I'm going to expect a small pullback and then a continuation down towards this 200 moving average, which is around 556. And from there, I will look for a wave B, C, D, and E. And after this is done, I'm going to look for a continuation higher. So if we look soybean also, I think that the 5-wave sequence is done. So we have a nice move on the downside. This is also one of the commodities which is showing a move lower towards potentially some levels around 11. So the previous wave 4 and this 200 moving average can provide some support. We still need a little bit more of a downside for the wave A, up and B, down and C, or something more complex, but definitely sequence from the beginning of 2019 in the leading diagonal in 1 down into a very sharp wave 3 pullback in a wave 4, and a wave 5 might be over, and we might see some larger pullback also in the soybean market. So as you can see, all of these commodities paints the same picture. We were on top of that for the last couple of crypto labs, foreseeing the move lower in commodities and potential pause in rates. So that will might bring some relief into stock market. So let me also look copper. I see the copper is an interesting subject. So this might be some type of a flattish correction down to 3.3. It also follows the negative sentiment. I will say the demand negative narrative pushed from Fed in order to bring inflation lower. RSI is also relatively lower on this weekly range, so we might see some bounces back in copper. But overall, I think copper is definitely bullish still. We don't see any sizable movement lower, which will give us an indication that actually this was some type of a top or a cyclical top in copper. So I think this is just a pullback, which will last a couple of weeks, couple of months, and then we might see a basing process and recovery on the upside. So the general theme is lower commodities, just in pause, lower rates for a couple of months, and we will see how that will play out and which wave structure we're gonna get. So let's move to total crypto market cap. So you know this chart where we're looking this chart off and on for the last year. RSI on these weekly levels are still very low, historic low for the total crypto market cap. We actually stopped at 200 moving average, as you can see on weekly level, and 38% of the retracement of this move on the upside. As I said, even if we move this wave 3, I have seen some of the works that actually considers this wave 3 doesn't change much of a picture. We might get this consolidation done or some type of a triangulation, but in my opinion, this is still some type of a complex correction pairing up with my wave count on Bitcoin. I know that we are not in such a favorable macro conditions for the cryptos to move higher. And that is definitely the case as we see Fed pulling off liquidity. But anyhow, this is just a narrative which drives the market. So in general sense, I'm trying to see what can be actually a new renewed trend for the Bitcoin, because this was a pretty big washout. As you know, we looked either a triangle or a complex correction from these highs in 2021. We came to our target, but I'm trying to find what will be actually the push, or what will be the incentive for the crypto holders and new buyers to enter the market and start actually a new trend on the upside. I must say that in looking at the macro conditions, they are not there yet. But we might see also some regulatory changes. This ETF approval might be also one of the good things for the Bitcoin. And we might see some other changes. So you never know, you need to follow how the things are developing here, which I think it's going to be very crucial for the crypto development in the next couple of months. And I will show you that on the Bitcoin chart. So if you, oh, sorry, this is the sound you hear, it's probably my neighbor is making something, probably redoing his apartment. So apologize for that. So let's move and look the Bitcoin chart. So I already posted this on my Twitter page. So we are still not out of the woods in the Bitcoin chart. So this liquidation was something that we were looking for down to this 20K. We have dropped a little bit more, which was the case previously. If you look this 200 moving average couple of times. It is very important for the Bitcoin price to stay capped in these levels and actually go above and starts to consolidate around this 200 moving average, forming some type of a base, which will give us a solid energy accumulation for the potential impulsive move on the upside. So in the previous cases, historically, we have basically did the same thing. We have overrun 200 moving average on the downside, then we consolidated for some time, kissed it again, and then start a new uptrend. Here it was also one of the cases where it's the perfect match with 200 moving average on weekly basis. As you can see, in COVID pandemic start 2020, we also came down relatively to a bigger extent. And also, if you measure these corrections, they are around between 75 and 85% of pullbacks. We are almost there in the Bitcoin. So I think next couple of weeks will be crucial. RSI is also very low, lowest in history. So this gives us also a nice potential for a kind of a basing process, and it is very important for the Bitcoin to go above this 200 moving average, spend a little time around it or a little bit below it, and then we will maybe see forming of some base for a potential impulsive move on the upside. So if I look the chart with the Elliott Wave count, so it's basically the same picture. Base channel 38%, some relation between A and B. If you look this as a complex correction, I had some arguments with some Elliottians that complex corrections, which are actually combined with a couple of different structures, being this in a flat for W, X wave, and a Y wave, there is a different opinions that Y wave has to stay on a sideways manner, leveling W, but there is also in a couple of books the Y wave goes below the W wave. So I'm more keen to accept this one, because if this stays within this range and we get some type of a push on the upside, challenging previous swing highs, I think, especially in 5 waves, I think we will form a nice base for a potential new uptrend forming. I've also seen some suggestions, so I should move my wave 3 here instead of labeling this as an X. It doesn't change much, even if you depict this as a triangle, which will last until the end of 2023, this will be its lowest point. So from the perspective of lows, even if you get this wave 3 here and actually you start forming some type of an A, B, C, D, and E, this will be the lowest point if we get a contracting triangle, which is most likely the case if we are in some type of a triangulation. So this will be the lowest point. We will form ABC and we will trade around 48, 42, 48, and then we drop. And you know the drill. It's going to be just a sideways consolidation before we go on the upside. So I'm still waiting to see what will develop here. If I switch to smaller time frames, we still don't have any substance for the 5-wave move on the upside. We definitely see a potential beginning of it. So this might be a wave 1. Is it a wave 2 done or a B wave? In a case we get a pullback, we drop one more time. It's still really unclear. Depends how you treat this move on the downside. I do see 5 waves down with the sharpest leg here. In the third wave, I see this as some type of a complex correction, or either a triangle and then a final drop towards these levels which happened on the last weekend. And the recovery so far has been forming in some type of a 5-wave move. I look this potentially as a little bit more downside, where I think at least another leg higher might develop. So this might be some type of a flat move down and see, or correction is over. So we will see that how it will develop. It will be natural after such a move lower, maybe to have a little bit deeper wave 2 in a Bitcoin or a wave B, and then at least we might go to 25, 23K, where is actually the equality. If we push higher, we will have definitely evidence that the wave 3 is developing and that we're going to challenge the previous swing high, which is usually a stopping place for the wave 1 on the upside, which comes around 30 to 32K. Okay, so very important couple of weeks in a Bitcoin chart. And let's see what will happen. We cannot know that in advance. I'm still gonna keep my thesis alive that we are going to form some type of a wave 1 on the upside, and let's see how that goes. So Ether is basically doing the same thing. We have reached our last resort levels. My levels was around 1,000, the secondary target. We penetrate that on impressive selling on the weekends, and now we are back around this 200 moving average. RSI is also historically low on Ether. I have a couple of ratios which I pointed out before. 38%, which is a retracement from the wave 2 for the wave 3. Again, the same picture. We have to develop 5-wave move up, actually to confirm the reversal signature and then continuation on the upside. Same thing if you place wave 3 here and actually consider this a 5-wave move. This will either be an ABC correction, or it will form a triangle and then continuation on the upside, but this will still be the lowest point that we will form our actual lows. So wave count invalidation on the Bitcoin is at 13,600, I think, or somewhere around 586, and on the Ether, the wave 1 started in July 2019. Its highs is at 366. So we are very far actually to say that this wave count is invalid. And of course, nobody wants to wait such a big drawdown. So we have to wait a little bit more. Going on a smaller time frame, we do see a possibility either in a ABC up to these levels, or a continuation challenging these 2,500 levels in 5 waves. And that will be very crucial piece of information for us if we start developing something more impulsive on the Ether on the upside. That will actually mean that this was most likely a tradable low, or a final low on Ether, and that we are going to develop some type of a bullish wave structure further on the upside as the times go by. So we are going to wait on a clarification. Lots of the crypto charts actually posted some type of lows. I will show you a couple of them, which I have a reason to believe. Somebody asked me to post the XRP chart. So XRP is still in some type of a big triangulation. We reached one of our targets for the XRP. So this is a complex, a rather 3-wave move lower. This is also a 3-wave move higher. So this is also a 3-wave move lower again. So this gives us a basis to consider that to be some type of a triangulation. Still unfinished. The RSI is also on a historic low. So if we're going to recover, we are going to see 3 waves up here, and then a small pullback, and then potentially finalization towards the end of the year and start of this fifth wave on the upside. So in my view, XRP is still capped in this triangulation. If you look this data, this is a real data. I just mimic it because on Crypto Compare, I don't have this, so there has been a move up in a wave one. So kind of these two consolidations are correspondent to each other. We have spent in a fourth wave almost double time. So it's 200% of a fib ratio, which is still viable for the fourth wave correction in timing manner. So let me show you a couple of other cryptos links. Link also looks very interesting for the fourth wave pullback. So if we count this from beginning of the sequence, which goes back July, I think it's this is a weekly chart. So around August, September 2017, we have a wave 1 and 2, a funky wave 3 on the upside, I must say, which is correct from the wave count, from the perspective of the Elliott Wave rules and guidelines. So then we embarked into some type of a complex correction, so ABCX, ABC, and we are poking into a very substantial fib levels here. With the right timing and the last timing, how we tolerate actually the timing spent in a wave 4 compared to the time spent in the wave 2, just from the guideline, the right look reason. So wave 4s are usually in most cases longer affairs, and it's kind of a natural if you think, because wave 2s are sharp in most cases, and the wave 4s which are depicting the balance between the bulls and bears, are a little bit longer affair. So any sign of the 5-wave move on the upside, challenging this previous swing high around 1850, will be something which is going to actually announce a reversal signature and link, and then a pullback to this 200 moving average will be for us an opportunity with a small stop loss for the exploring possible developments in this potential 5-wave sequence. If we look also a couple of others, I will show you two more before we start looking at your comments and requests. Let me just go over gold. I always forget gold. I don't know why. So gold still didn't give us any clues on the upside. I still follow this bullish wave count, which needs to prove itself very quickly. If this is a wave 1 and 2, wave 3 is usually very sharp. So I need to see gold jumping from here very sharply towards and above 1,900 levels in order to actually start to look for a beginning of the wave 3 of 3, looking much higher in gold. For now, gold has been very slow, very sideways. Post this triangle thrust during the first announcements of a Russia invasion in Ukraine, we have seen this move on the upside, which was, in my opinion, as I stated before in Crypto Labs, very small for the situation like that. I think in the world before, pre-2000 or something, even before, you will see gold spiking up 500, $1,000 in this situation. All we got was $200 on the upside, which was very suspicious, really, in my opinion. So I'm still not tied, as I said, to this wave count. We are also trading below one of the trend lines, which might give this wave count also a viable solution. So if we count this as a wave 1 and longer wave 2, this is actually a wave 3 waves down in A, 3 waves up in B, 5 waves down in C, which gives us a flat. And then we go up in a wave 3. This is a complex or either A up in B, flat in C. It doesn't matter. The context is the same. We're going to see a lower prices down back to 1,672. Or around that, where is a 38.2% retracement. So this will be actually potential end of this consolidation, and then we can continue to look for confirmation of the further move up in gold in this green wave 5, which will take us up to 2,500 and maybe even higher. So we will see that. Silver is the same. I don't see on silver also anything drastic on the upside. Moreover, silver is still consolidating around this. This looks like a triangle to me, although you never know. I mean, you need to see some further consolidation. Wherever, guys, you see some type of these consolidations after a big move down and important support levels, which are here, as you can see, 400 days or even more support levels. If something wants to go up from here, it's going to react much more fiercely than we have seen so far. Okay, so as long as we stay in such a very chop markets here, you can always assume, at least be prepared, that this is just a small consolidation in the direction of a trend, and that we might continue further lower. So on silver, even if I want to look at from here and move on the upside, I need to see to actually think that I can anchor a B wave here and continue looking silver after a pullback for a further move on the upside. So pretty long consolidation in silver, almost from July 2020. So as Terry would say, we look the grass grow here. So really amazing sideways consolidation with a few pop-ups, with a few bull traps on the upside, which will follow by the harsh selling in the silver market. So let me hop back to the cryptos, show you a couple of more charts, and then we'll go to your questions. Our favorite couple of cryptos has been also Binance Coin and Matic. So Matic is definitely looking for impulsive move on the upside from lows, as you can see. I've posted this for our members. So this is a smaller time frame. Post Triangle Trust has a very nice five-way move lower. We are forming pretty nice potential five-way move on the upside in Matic, which will actually confirm this as a actual reversal signature, and potentially, especially if I see something like this or a five-way move on the upside towards this 0.660, 0.7 level. So if I go on a higher time frame, I do see Matic also in some type of a fourth wave and potentially developing five-wave move and a pullback for a higher degree green wave 5. So I think this was a flat correction which completed where the previous wave 4 was. We also have seen a very low RSI, which is still not turning, which is a very good sign. When you see the consolidation and a historic lows, while here you have reading around 40, definitely this will be a very strong level because the RSI below 30 historically cannot be compared here as well. So I do think this will be some type of a bottoming process, and we will look for signs potentially for development of a bullish sequence in Polygon or Matic. So Binance Coin as well, we were looking for a consolidation, a nice bounce, also RSI very low, still cannot confirm a full recovery. Here we can make the case this is a five-way move. We might get into some flattish and back or develop a further move on the upside, but this is not enough in general. It is a nice recovery, but we came exactly to equality as well, or a measured move, just punch it through a little bit because of the fierce selling, but we came back right to it. So I don't have enough evidence to tell you that this move down, definitely probability is increasing, it is over, but it's going in a good direction. Okay, so next target, if we develop higher, will be a previous swing highs, which is in this zone, some around here. So we will see 5 waves up, challenging 320, and then a pullback, which will be a very nice place for us for a potential move on the upside. So we look this as a WXY. There is also a case, but as I always say, don't focus on the, even if you count this as a up in B, down in C, some type diagonal C wave in a flat, same target, same thing. So don't be glued to the wave count when you actually try to see where the fourth wave will land. If you have a triangle, that's relatively clear. But usually until you have an expanded flat which can go further lower, when you have this type of potential regular flats or something else which calls of regular kind of a range ups and downs, the target will be most likely the same. So we still need the confirmation on this one. So guys, that will make our presentation done. So I'm going to go back to your comments and questions. We can also look for some cryptos. Hit the like button and subscribe. We didn't have a stock YouTube broadcast yesterday. Bennett is unfortunately not feeling very good, so he will be back on his feet very soon, and we're going to continue next week. So in the meantime, of course, you can look our work on stocks and cryptos at tradinganalysis.com. You can pick up a trial and see do our service fit your needs. So let me look. Mr. Garlic, good day, Alex and trades. Thank you. Michael, hello. Howie, hello, Howie. Lawrence. Felix is saying copper is getting crushed. Okay. Hey, Oleg, how are you? I'm a little worried that ADA was supposed to renew the low before the new uptrend begins, but it didn't. So could you go lower later? Holochain. Whoa, I didn't look at that one. Hi, Alex, can you look into Crow, please? Alex, please. Andre. Okay, so let's look ADA. So ADA depends how do you watch this, either wave 2 or wave 4. Again, the same situation. If you put 5 waves here and consider this to be a first sequence, so a couple of things can happen. 38% or also equality between these two legs has been reached. So far, we don't have a full recovery. We need to see a 5-wave move up to 0.7. So I will not say this is the end. Maybe we're going to see a small push on the downside. But when you have the wave 2s, a couple of things, couple of corrections can happen. It can be a simple, or it can go in an X wave and then another move down to 1.15 in a complex correction. So how you're going to eliminate that from the wave count? Usually when you see the X waves, they are a very sharp 3-wave moves, which are usually stopping at the previous B wave. So that's one trick. If you want to safeguard yourself from the X wave, which are pretty drastic bull traps, I'm always looking the previous swing high zones. So the X wave, usually if it goes just a touch above it. You will never see the X wave goes some around here or here. Usually they are capped in 90% of the cases around there, and they are very sharp, very sudden, much more sharper than you would actually see the wave 1 develops after this fall. And actually people starts to believe it's a new uptrend. They try to catch it, and then it reverses and actually goes further lower. So that's a couple of tips for the wave X, how to recognize them, and from where they can actually start moving into direction of the trend. So we don't have any evidence yet here for ADA, so we need to wait. Let me look a couple of more charts for you guys. Let me see this new one, which I never, EGLD, I think EGLD is in a corrective second wave. So let me look, I think I have EGLD here. Yes, I do. So I looked for a second wave lows, as you can see. So this will be either 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this will be some type of an ABC, either a smaller flat in B or X, and then a 5-wave move sequence down to here, down to our box, which will be a potentially low. So don't look for the labelings. I do have a couple of charts where I do make some makeovers and try different versions. So either if you put this as a smaller triangle, A, B, C, D, and E, and then 1, 2 down in 3, 4, and 5, or you can look this as a 3-wave down triangle and then another 3-wave down. Target is, in my opinion, the same. So if this is the lows, you should see a 5-wave move development up to these 100 levels. So this will be 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5, challenging this zone, and then a pullback will increase probability for the complete reversal. Let me just do this for a second. There are some lights coming from outside. Yeah, so still not a full-blown recovery to build something on it. So we need to see. Usually, sometimes you even can see this as a failed fifth. This was a ferocious drop in this last couple of days. So sometimes it's not clear, but definitely for now we don't have any evidence that this is actually a full-blown recovery. So what this can be also, if you look from the chart perspective, this also can be, I see people drawing this a lot in the Elliott Wave. This is not such a common thing, guys. An expanding leading diagonal is not something that you will expect to appear regularly. Okay, so there is some rules in this expanding sequence. So wave 3 has to be bigger than wave 1, and wave 5 has to be bigger than wave 3. For now, as you can see in the EG-LD, we have these requirements met. So this is a leading diagonal. So let's put some labels on it. So if you can see here, wave 1 and wave 2 made the beginning sequence, wave 3 very sharp on the upside, and also one of the things, wave 4 didn't went below the wave 2, which is also one of the requirements for the this type of a chart. So this will be an expanding leading diagonal in 5 waves. You can expect some type of a pullback, and then either an ABC, and if we cross this 85 level, I think we can build a full 5-wave swing towards 150 in EG-LD, which will be definitely a reversal sign. Let me bring some lights. You don't see me, guys, very well. Let me look a couple of more. Holochain. I don't know if I looked at one ever. Holochain. I don't see Holochain here. Maybe I'm not typing anything good. Hot. Okay, let's try hot. Holo USD. We did make some wave count, which was unsuccessful. Who knows when we did that. This wave count didn't work. As you can see, we looked for development in wave 5. That was July 2021. We developed only 3 waves and collapsed lower. But the problem is we don't see a full 5-wave sequence here, which is very interesting. Let me look. Yeah, I don't know what to do with this chart because there is only 3 waves up, 3 waves down. It can be some type of an ABC. Some cryptos do that. So this can be a WXY. I don't have a problem with that. So there is some type of a 5 waves down, 3 waves pullback, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this should be most likely some type of a potential lows. We need a 5 waves up and a pullback, especially if this one climbs back in impulsive manner back to 0.0068. So I will focus on a smaller time frame to see 5 waves up and a pullback, which will give and raise probability for a potential 5-wave move or some sustainable recovery. Okay. Crow, let me see what the Crow is doing after potential leading diagonal. So Crow is moving towards this target in an ABC. So after a 5-wave move, we are seeing some type of a reversal. Some people call this a flat. I don't see 5 legs. This 1, 2, 3, some type of a wave 4, 5. It doesn't work so nice. Usually when you see this type of patterns, and this retracement has retraced all of this move, which is not particularly something that you look for. And I will have to work out this Crow chart. We didn't invalidate the lows, but we need to start to recover pretty sharply here. Otherwise, we might see another push down. So I want the Crow to come back to 0.19 in 5 waves, and then after a pullback, at least go back to 0.31 or continue higher. Because this is a pretty sizable drop, I was looking before for a shorter ABC, which didn't came into fruition. We came sizably lower. So whenever I'm faced with a wave count that it didn't work exactly from the levels or around the levels I was looking for, I have to go back to the chart and work it out again, try to figure out what has happened. And of course, there is many charts that I didn't actually nailed, in a sense that they were penetrated from my potential stopping place. But what is important for me and how do I use Elliott is as a risk tool. So if it doesn't stay around my levels, it doesn't give me what I want, then I leave it. I'm not going to trade it on a position trading thing. And then sorry guys, they're working hard. So in that respect, what I will do here, I will wait for a new development and some confirmation for a possible interest in Crow. No, Michael, I don't think correction is over. I'm looking, I mean, I'm never so definite. When I see signs and I see what I want to see, a full 5-wave recovery on the bigger time frames, I will say that probability is over 60–70%. That I mean, there is no certainty here. I never claim anything certain. I'm just trying to weight probabilities paired with the Elliott wave count and the macro picture. That was the main thesis why we started the Crypto Lab, and it's still the same. Infinite asks, are NFTs balloons? I don't know if there is NFTs balloons. Probably there is. There has been stones, ETH stones. If you ask me what is the NFT, you have a lots of explanation on the YouTube. Abbreviated is from non-fungible tokens, so you can read what it is. No, I'm acquainted of the work with GAN, but I don't use GAN because you need to be a proficient astrologer with that as well. GAN used a very specific type of schematics, which was based on mathematics and astrology. So you need to study that a long time in order to actually read what he left. No idea for now. Alice, what is Alice? Let's see, what is Alice? Alice USD. Nothing there on Alice. Maybe it's here. Let's see on the trading view. Alice didn't make a third wave. This is also an example of the X wave up. So if you look for ABC and this happens, this is obviously an X wave. So here what you're going to look is that this was a move lower, and then you have a three-wave correction, and then you have a continuation to the downside. This should be a pretty equal in measure. So when you look couple of things, you can throw also a parallel channel, which is a good thing to see. Any break of a parallel channel on the upside. This was very well put by Jeffrey Kennedy from the Elliott Wave. International corrective channels are usually depicts the corrections, and for most cases this is very true. So when you see the price action consolidates within the corrective channels, there is a big probability you are in some type of a correction. So his observation and his thesis about this was very, very true. And it's very useful as well. What would you like to see? Usually, after some events like this, it's the five-wave move, either challenging this corrective channel, just pull back a little bit and then continuation, or actually exceeding this and lean on this technical support, which now actually it was resistance, now becomes support. And then it might kind of jump on it for a further move on the upside. So it doesn't look bad, even if you go on a smaller time frame. You will see that potentially this is something which might have a little bit more downside. Watch out. Potentially 1, 2, up in 3, 4, and 5. So it might just drop a little bit, but I will look very carefully at these levels. Any recovery in 5 waves and a pullback will increase probability this one might continue higher. So it doesn't look so bad from the correction perspective after this push on the upside. So okay, guys, thank you very much for the attention. Check us out if you like with tradinganalysis.com. We rolled out something for our members, a couple of cryptos that we think it's going according to our charts and preference, blue chip cryptos that we think we're going to see a developing nice structures. We also have a lot of Discord activity, members webinars, and lots of things in the crypto market. If you like, hit the like button for us, help us this contest to find maybe a little bit more viewers, and of course see you next week. We're going to follow this macro scene which started to unfold according to our charts, and also we're going to pay a special attention what will happen on Bitcoin and Ether, because I think next couple of weeks will be crucial, and it will be very, very important for the future what we are going to see in them. So if you don't check us out in Trading Analysis, see you next week here on the Crypto Lab with Alex. So stay well, stay healthy, and see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.